Wait me, don't you?
Tune in to Kons podcast.
Collect the beats. Wait me, don't you? Wait me, don't you?
So Iran has threatened the state of California as FBI has warned, pointing you to point A when they are going to point B. You know what I mean? They all about deception, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know why Cali was named Kung Fu Robots. You know what I'm saying? Kung Fu Robots in China being developed. They got some Kung Fu robots. A million of these with Kung Fu martial art robots. You feel me? Imagine if these was kicking your doors in. What you gonna do? Lil Durk, you know what I'm saying? Lil Durk just made a power move. You know what I mean? A lot of people calling it a power move by him hiring Brian Steele. But him hiring on this dude Brian Steele got to be something good for him, being that Brian Steele is getting rappers off. What's going on? What is happening? You know what I mean? It is a good Friday, you know what I'm saying? Friday the 13th to be exact, you know what I mean? So I hope everybody is still sticking to the good luck charms and good luck is still going for you on the day of bad luck, you know what I mean? It is Friday the 13th, you know what I'm saying? 12 in the afternoon, 12:15 in the afternoon, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's, like I said, whether it's creeping in, the heat is creeping in out here in Sacramento, you know what I mean? We are finna be touching 90 degrees tomorrow, Saturday, you know what I mean? And along with other 85 and 90 degree days coming already. So, you know what I mean? Time to get your shorts out, put your hoodies up, and put your winter jackets in the closet, because you feel me, those times it's finna be dead, you know what I mean? But yeah, got a few little topics for you today, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna touch on a few little things. You know what I mean? If this your first episode, this your first time in, you know what I'm saying? This is where we go over the news, go over headlines, go over whatever headlines you might have seen on your home page when you log on to your computer, whether your home page is MSNBC News, Yahoo News, Google News, Hip Hop DX, wherever it is that you get your headlines and news from. I'm probably touching on 1, 2, or 3 of them though right here on this podcast, you know what I mean? So please share this out, tell your people about it, you know what I mean? Tell them about it and tell them to share it as well, you know what I'm saying? Let me keep you updated on this wicked world, you know what I mean? But yeah, just got a few little topics though. We definitely gonna touch on how Iran is threatening my state of Cali. You know what I'm saying? Iran is threatening to hit drones in my state, not really pinpointing certain cities, but certain cities was named. We're gonna touch in that. Some Kung Fu robots China is developing with a robot company called Unitree. We're gonna touch on that. And also Lil Durk just made a little power move with his case he got going by hiring on a lawyer that was also represented in a previous case that we all remember and seen that was going on in front of our faces. You know what I'm saying? But that's all we're gonna be touching on today. You know what I mean? Hope everybody's doing cool. It is a Friday. It is the weekend. You feel me? Hope you had a cool, productive week. It is to the weekend now. You know what I'm saying? We are finally here at the weekends. Hopefully you get to kick your feet up, get to kick back and do whatever it is that you want to do. You know what I mean? Without no more chit chat, without no more banter, you know what I'm saying? Let's jump right into these topics. You feel me? So Iran has threatened the state of California as FBI has warned California law officials that Iran was planning on or considering striking California with drones from a boat in the waters of California coast.
Multiple law enforcement and intelligence sources tell CBS News that while the tip circulated by federal officials raised concerns, there is no known credible threat. The FBI memo obtained by CBS News was shared with California law enforcement agencies last week, and it stemmed from unverified intelligence that surfaced before the Iranian conflict began. Now, it warned of the possibility of a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from a vessel off the U.S. coast. It also said, though, that the FBI had no information on, quote, the timing, method, target, or perpetrators of this alleged attack. The FBI had no comment, and last night President Trump said only it's being investigated. Last month, the Department of Homeland Security warned law enforcement nationwide that Iranian-aligned actors may conduct cyber attacks or inspire isolated incidents of violence. Just yesterday, the medical device company Stryker said it's investigating a cybersecurity incident that disrupted parts of its global network. Cybersecurity researchers say a hacking group linked to Iran has claimed responsibility for that attack. This comes amid a Homeland Security funding fight here in Washington that's dragged on for almost a month now. It means nearly 2/3 of the department's cyber defense officials are furloughed and off the job.
Has said that Iran was considering carrying out a surprise drone attack against California in retaliation for American strikes. This is according to a confidential alert that was issued in early February before the war began. It said that Iran was considering using an unidentified vessel off the coast of America to carry out this kind of attack. The FBI shared the alert with the Los Angeles Joint Regional Intelligence Center, but it said that the information was uncorroborated and it had no more details about timings or targets. California Governor Gavin Newsom said that he is not aware of any imminent threats at the moment, and U.S. President Donald Trump said that they're investigating.
But you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come.
This follows a separate security alert about an intercepted transmission believed to be from Iran that could have been trying to activate sleeper cells outside of the country. But again, authorities have said that no specific threat has been identified in that case.
After they said they would be activating sleeper cells in the U.S., but there's no further information as to where the targets, although L.A., San Jose, and also some other ones have been brought up in the clip you gonna see.
I recently alerted California police departments Iran aspires to conduct a surprise attack against unspecified targets in California using drones. The drones would come from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland.
American cities coast to coast remain on alert for any potential terror attacks amid the war with Iran, and there is a particular concern in California.
Investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come.
Gavin Newsom says he's in constant coordination with his emergency team to monitor potential threats to California.
Developing news coming out that it has been confirmed by the president, the FBI, the governor of California, that California is in fact being targeted by Iran for a retaliatory attack as a result of the war, the conflict going on with the Middle East. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as we're also hearing that sleeper cells are a major concern, and the United States actually has been hit by Iran in the last 24 hours by a cyber attack as they are looking to wreak havoc on U.S. society by taking down critical infrastructure systems. In addition to that, we've also heard this morning that the new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the previous Supreme Leader, has come out and made a statement, and he is vowing there will be revenge and retaliation. There will be blood on the adversaries of Iran, aka the United States. They are planning attacks against the U.S. Let me get you caught up on the latest so that way you can see what's been unfolding. As of this morning, top U.S. drone experts say that Iran could make a deadly California strike at any second. We are extremely vulnerable, they are warning. Now, even though we're hearing this warning coming out from experts, take a look at this. California officials downplay information that Iran may be targeting their state with drone strikes. California officials say that they were aware of the information in various news reports that Iran could be targeting the U.S. with drone strikes in retaliation for the ongoing war in Iran, but many are downplaying that threat. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But take a look at this. Live updates coming out today. Iran's supreme leader issues his first statement vowing to avenge those killed in the war, threatening the United States of America. And as I mentioned, Iran expands war with major cyber attack against U.S. companies. And in addition to that, we actually heard from the president. Take a look at this coming out this morning. Trump monitoring the possible terror sleeper cells and the potential for Iranian drone attacks in California. They have been confirmed. They are real. California is marked as a target. Now, in addition to that, I also shared with you the warning that had come out. Let's go ahead and take a look at this really quick here. The map that showed us the various cities they said that need to be on high alert. And you can see here on the West Coast, they have San Diego, Los Angeles, Irvine, San Jose, Silicon Valley.
No drone stations as of we know off the coast, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I would think that they would have been bombed by now if it was some boats sitting off the coast of California, you know what I mean? But who knows?
News right now, the FBI warned California law enforcement officials that Iran had been planning to carry out surprise drone strikes on California. according to a bulletin reviewed by ABC News. Allegedly, Iran was planning on, or at least considering, launching drones to the coast of California from a boat off the coast of California. Now, the bulletin had no information as far as exact locations, timing, etc. Now, as you know, Iran doesn't have any capabilities to strike the U.S. homeland from Iran. It doesn't have a missile that can go far enough to strike America. Theoretically, Iran could park a boat right outside the border of the waters of the United States and fly drones into the United States or launch a missile if it has such capabilities. It also has no more additional information as far as the method, target, or perpetrators behind it, and we have no confirmation that Iran has any drones stationed off our coast right now. I'm assuming if we did, we would have bombed it by now, but you never know. Spread the word, follow for more. Any drones stationed off our coast right now. I'm assuming if we did, we would have bombed it by now, but you never know. Spread the word.
You know what I mean? We don't know if they would have, you know what I'm saying? But if they are, we definitely, like he said, we would have bombed them for sure. So in the next little clips you're going to see what the governor had to say, the governor Gavin Newsom, and also the mayor of San Francisco in these clips, what they had to say on us getting word that we might be attacked with some drones by Iran. Check it out.
Drone strikes, we've been aware of that information. We've been working collaboratively through the SOC, which we established right after the war began, the State Operations Center, working with the Office of Emergency Service, but also working locally to make sure we transmit any information that we have received, and we're aware of that, which has been reported, I think, by ABC 7. We're aware of that information, and we transfer that information in real time to our local partners. Drone issues have been always top of mind, and we've assembled some work groups specifically around those that information, and we transfer that information in real time to our local partners. Drone issues have been always top of mind.
We're living in such odd and stressful times. You have to take all of this seriously, but you also have to take it with a grain of salt. Should we could be concerned? Absolutely. But we've got to go about our business and our day, take care of our families and our jobs and our communities.
I want you all to know that we are aware of the reports that were made public today, and we have been in constant communication with our state and federal partners who have assured us there are no imminent threats to us here in San Francisco. As always, public safety is our number one priority, and rest assured we are in constant communication with all of our public safety partners, and we will continue to monitor the situation, and we will always keep you posted.
Iran is making threats to my state. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why they targeting California. We don't really hold any political figures like that out here in the state. It might be some in LA, you know what I'm saying, but California ain't really been known to be targeted for no strikes. This was something that was totally random. I'm sure it was totally random to the people here in Cali right along with me. We ain't never been subjected to like being a target of Iran or Iraq or anybody of that nature, specifically naming California, you know what I mean? I just thought this was a little weird, you know what I'm saying? But being me and thinking, you know what I mean, the government is always pointing you to point A when they are going to point B, you know what I mean? They all about deception, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know why Cali was named, but let's hope that they not finna be doing anything to my state, you know what I mean? As far as to use a chess piece in this political chess game that they doing right now with the wars and everything going on, you know what I mean? I don't know what's to come for California, but yeah, like I said, it's just odd that they are mentioning that they don't even have missiles capable of traveling this far. They would definitely have to have boats posted off the coastline of our state, you know what I mean, for them to have drones attack us, you know what I'm saying, off the coast, because yeah, that's a long way. That's a more than a long range missile can reach from Iran to California, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on with that, but as you heard from the governors, you know what I mean, said that we prepared and all this, so I don't know what's to come from that. What's to come out of that is crazy stuff happened during wars, because we all know war is very lucrative for these politicians and these government officials, you know what I'm saying? They definitely up their financial bank accounts through wars for sure. Kung Fu robots, you know what I'm saying? Kung Fu robots in China being developed. They got some Kung Fu robots and had them on display in what they call the Chinese Spring Festival Gala. You know what I'm saying? This clip that you're seeing right now, this is a 6-foot tall robot. You know what I mean? A unitary robot doing some martial arts. China has vowed to be the number one in robotics, in the robotic space, by advancing tech. As you will see in the clips that we're going to go on into after this, you're going to see in the clip, they went from being just advanced to just in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? They advanced them so much in just 1 year from last year's event to this year's event. They are looking very fluent in movement, way more fluent than they was just last year. Even got them doing backflips.
Hate me, don't you?
See in the next clips, you know what I mean, you're going to see more so on these acrobatic martial art robots. Check it out.
Don't you?
These Chinese robots are crazy. They're doing parkour, breakdancing, drunken kung fu, even like full-on gymnastics floor routines. And compare that to what they were doing a year ago. They've come a long way. This display is part of the Spring Festival Gala, China's most watched annual television event, which makes it a real destination for robotics companies showing their latest and greatest. Again, here's last year.
With mechanic force, they can do it better.
And here's this year. For years, China has been making a very deliberate attempt, a very intentional show of its ambition to be the global leader in this space. They even organized the world's first Olympic-style humanoid robot games in Beijing last summer, with sometimes mixed results, to be sure. But these are the baby steps of today, setting up a future where these AI-powered humanoid robots are capable of who knows what tomorrow.
Just seen clips of the Chinese Spring Festival Gala where they had all these robots on display doing martial arts with nunchucks and swords. Now this is cool and dope, but also terrifying at the same time. You know what I mean? Now just imagine if we went to a war and they had 1 million of these kung fu martial art robots. You feel me? Imagine if these was kicking your doors in. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? They bulletproof. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do against a martial art robot kicking your door in? You know what I'm saying? And has capabilities of a whatever highest degree black belt in whatever martial art. I mean, and this is a robot. This is something capable of punching through your skull. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. This is the dope for tech. If you're a tech person, this is something definitely dope. It's definitely cool to see. You know what I mean? We're seeing robots hit backflips, robots hitting roundhouses, hitting sidekicks, and throwing jab combos and all this and that. It looks dope, but at the same time, it is terrifying for real. You know what I mean? This is AI, like I said, on its forever climb to take over what we do as human beings. You know what I mean? This is something, like I said, it's dope, but it's also terrifying. You know what I mean? The way we have robots doing martial arts now. You know what I mean? As you seen earlier, it's a 6 foot tall robot doing martial arts. Yo, excuse me. Let me interrupt this episode. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't hit that subscribe button, now is your time to do that. In the middle of this explosive, dope content that I'm bringing you. You know what I'm saying? Now's your time to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button, comment on whatever you like, whatever you want to comment on. Now's your time to go ahead and do that if you ain't done it already. You know what I'm saying? But definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely tell somebody else to hit that subscribe button too. You know what I'm saying? It's Kons Podcast. Let's get back to the episode. Man, AI. I mean, like I said, AI is taking over, and it is taking over rapidly and with a force by us having kung fu martial art robots. Lil Durk, you know what I'm saying? Lil Durk just made a power move. You know what I mean? A lot of people calling it a power move by him hiring Brian Steele. If y'all don't remember who that is, that's a lawyer who just got Young Thug off. He was fighting Young Thug's case, you know what I'm saying? He was held in contempt of court and, you know what I mean, doing all this gangster stuff, lawyer gangster stuff in court, and got Young Thug off. You know what I mean? He was the person who did that. We all know and recognize that name, Brian Steele. I believe Drake had a song even called Brian Steele as well. You know what I mean? So he's a lawyer who definitely made a name around a lot of celebrities, a lot of rappers, being on a lot of cases with these rappers, a lot of celebrities and this and that. So Lil Durk, anyway, just added him to his trial case, to his team. He just signed on, turned in the paperwork to be Lil Durk's lawyer and to represent him in this murder for hire case. You know what I mean? So the next little clips you're going to see is just more clips on this matter involving Lil Durk and him hiring on Brian Steele. Check these clips out.
Durk just pulled the ultimate cheat code for his murder for hire case by hiring the exact same lawyer who freed Young Thug. He is locked up waiting for a trial that keeps getting delayed, now set for August 2026. These charges are heavy, and people were wondering if he would ever see the outside of a cell again. But Durk is not playing around with his freedom. He already had Drew Findling on his roster, a guy known for massive courtroom victories. Now he is taking things to another level. Paperwork just hit the system showing Brian Steele is officially stepping in to replace a previous attorney. If that name sounds familiar, it is because Steele just pulled off a total masterclass in the YSL trial. Putting Steele and Findling in the same courtroom creates a legal super team that prosecutors will absolutely hate. The state probably thought they had an easy win, but this new defense lineup changes the entire trajectory of the trial. Having the guy who beat the biggest rap case of the decade might just be his golden ticket home.
The thing about Brian Steele joining Lil Durk's legal team is the why. So if you remember Steele from the YSL RICO trial, part of what he really crushed was cross-examining cooperators. This is a case against Lil Durk that's going to be built on cooperating witnesses, people who clearly did it and now are trying to blame Durk. And Brian Steele is going to be the guy who cross-examines them. So that is an A+ hire. He might be the best lawyer in the world when it comes to cross-examining cooperators, and he's informed. The next thing I would need if I were Lil Durk's legal team is a jury consultant. You've got the lawyers that you need to go ahead and present this case to the jury, but how are you going to pick that jury? Picking the jury is what is going to come down to a guilty or not guilty in this case. How do you pick a jury? You get a jury consultant, somebody who is an absolute psychologic freak who can profile and just based on how people look, how they talk, how they answer questions, tell you whether or not they are a good pick for your jury. That's going to be his next hire. I would spend literally anything on some of the greatest jury consultants in the country if I had it, because that is the next thing you need to build that Avengers legal jury.
You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk hired on Brian Steele. Now that could be a win for him, you know what I'm saying? But now it's a lot of evidence still stacked against Lil Durk, you know what I mean? But a lot of people was coming forth and ratting him out. A lot of people, I guess, who really did it is just throwing his name under the bus from what I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess this is a good thing, you know what I mean? I haven't really been following too close to the Durk case, you know what I'm saying? But him hiring on this dude Brian Steele got to be something good for him, being that Brian Steele is getting rappers off. Is definitely winning cases that he's involved in. So that's definitely a good look on the background of the lawyer that he is and who he is in getting people off, you know what I mean? Getting people off these cases who could be looking at serious time beforehand, you know what I'm saying? Young Thug was looking at some real time. Lil Durk is looking at some real time, you know what I mean? So Brian Steele is somebody, I guess, who can be the guy that can get him off of this case, you know what I mean? He's real good at cross-examining, as you heard in the clip, you know what I mean? That's one of his specialties, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can do something and make something happen for Lil Durk, for all you Lil Durk fans, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I got for today, though. Episode 369, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got for today, you know what I mean? I had to fit this in with a bunch of stuff I have to get ready to do, you know what I mean? But Yeah, thank everybody for joining in, though. Thank all y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? As we all know, you could have been doing anything you wanted to do, no matter who you was. You know what I mean? Whether you was a little brother or a little sister, whether you was a niece, a nephew, or uncle, or auntie, whether you was a grandpa, grandma, a mother, or father. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was cousin Pookie, cousin Mookie, cousin Man, you know what I mean? If y'all got pets that's sitting there watching Kons podcast as well, you know what I'm saying? And your pet happen to be, whether it's a cat, you have a pet dog, a pet hyena, a pet hedgehog, you have a pet squirrel, a pet giraffe, a pet tiger, a pet alligator, a pet lion, whoever your pet is. You know what I'm saying? If they looking at Kons podcast right along with you, I definitely salute to them like you see the emoji scrolling up the screen, giving you that good salute, you know what I mean? But in case you rolled up, in case you pulled up, in case you got too purged, in case you got too loaded, in case you heard kids upstairs fighting over who controller it was, who turn it was, fighting over Minecraft, Roblox, whatever the case may be, you had to step away. You know what I'm saying? This is everything that I just let you know in this quick little recap of episode 369. Just to let you know, Iran has made threats to my state, California. You know what I mean? We have said that we are very prepared. They ain't made no threats to specific cities or specific targets, but they definitely made threats to my state. Also let you know about some Kung Fu robots China has developed by a company called Unitree, developing Kung Fu robots that can do Kung Fu. Also let you know about Lil Durk making an adjustment on his lawyer, on his legal team by hiring on Brian Steele. You know what I mean? That's everything I let you know in today's episode 369. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know what I mean? It's been episode 369. You know what I mean? The beat you hear creeping up was made by none other than Infectious Beats, a beat collector beats. You know what I mean? Thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank all y'all for watching. Hear this beat, you know what I mean? And see these last little bit telling you to leave a comment and what you thought about each of these topics at the end. You know what I mean? But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching Kons podcast. We'll see y'all next episode.
Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you?